we had to be with Parikshit and hear what Shukadeva is telling him, so that our mind is also filled with the presence of the Lord. Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rijvyati karunya sudhabhivrishya Swamin namaste Swamin namaste Swamin namaste Swamin namaste Yat kirtanam Yat smaranam yadikshanam Yad vandanam yat shravanam yadarhanam Lokasya sadyo vidhunoti kalmasham Tasmai subhadrashravase Namo namaha Vichakshanaya charanopasadanat Sangam vyudasyo bhayatontaratmanah Vindanti hi brahmagatim gataklamaha Tasmai subhadrashravase Namo namaha Tasmai subhadrashravase Namo namaha Tasmai subhadrashravase Namo namaha Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So, we are again at the Ganges bank, and all of us with lot of Shraddha and lot of devotion will be hearing what Vyasadeva is telling Parikshit. When Vyasadeva is narrating the story of Prahlada, we saw how the 7-year-old child, he is absolutely fearless. He is only thinking about the Lord Mahavishnu, Sri Hari. And when his father asks him, what is the best lesson that you have learned when you are taught by your gurus? He only says that hearing about the Lord, singing about the Lord, remembering Him, doing His service, worshipping Him, saluting Him, considering Him to be the master and the best friend, and surrendering oneself at His feet. This is the best lesson one can have learned. So father got angry, and father was asking the teachers, what have you taught him? They said they got afraid, the teachers. They said, we have not taught. Neither we have taught, nor anybody else has taught. O Rajan, O King, it is very natural for this boy. His mind automatically goes to the Lord Mahavishnu. So Hiranyakashipu asked the son, who has taught you then? If your teachers have not taught, how did you get this perverse outlook? I, who am the enemy of Mahavishnu, being my son, you are getting devoted to Mahavishnu. Who has told you? Then Prahlada replies, Matirna Krishne Paratasvato va Mitho Bhipadyeta Grihavratanam Adanta Gobhir Vishatam Tamisram punah punascharvita charvananam. He says, man is always under the influence of senses and he gets allured to the objective world. So he does actions and temporarily he gets happiness, but at the end there is only sorrow and suffering. Though he understands this, again and again he does the same thing. Punah punascharvita charvananam. Just like a cow chews the cud, similarly, mankind is also, though he is understanding everything is transitory, he'll go after the same pleasures and ultimately get into sorrow. So, he says that unless the mind is turned towards God, one will not have happiness and peace. And this kind of people who are always under the control of their senses, their mind will not be turned towards the Lord at all. And if one has to turn his mind towards the Lord, what has to be done? Naisham matistavadurukramanghrim sprishatyanarthapagamo yadathaha mahiyasam padarajobhishekam nishkinchananam navrinitayavat. I wish you could understand each word. Beautiful words. Naisham matistavadurukramanghrim prishatyanarthapagamo yadarthaha mahiyasam padarajobhishekam nishkinchananam navrinitayavat. He says, how will the mind turn towards God? If you only interact with worldly people, with worldly desires, always wanting to achieve and acquire worldly objects, achievements and attainments and acquisition, wealth and property, your mind will not turn to God. Again and again you will have desire after desire without any satiation, without any satisfaction. So unless you don't take a bath in the dust of the feet of the devotees of the Lord, you understand? Unless you go and associate yourself to the holy devotees of the Lord, fall at their feet, take the dust of their feet and bathe in it. That is, you smear that dust over your body and head. Your mind will not turn to the God. And who are these devotees? They do not have any possession. Their only possession and treasure is God Himself. They do not look for house, few flats, few cars, few gadgets, and promotion, or money and wealth and prosperity, recognition, prestige. They don't look for that. If they are able to serve the Lord and Lord is pleased with them, they feel that is their treasure. Let anything else come or not come. It will come. If it is to come, it will come. But when their mind is soaked in devotion and they serve the Lord, then they feel themselves that they are the best of the human beings and they get fulfilled. And this is the treasure that they feel they have. And unless the mind is turned towards that, towards the devotees of the Lord, the holy people, one will not grow devotion for the Lord. This Prahlada said. Just imagine the scene. To whom he is saying? To his father. The father is the greatest enemy of Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. And he is telling without fear, a small boy, his father is very big, hefty, strong, and he is little, looking up at his father and saying without fear that this is what I feel is the best lesson that I have learned. So father got very, very angry. He thought, this boy, if he is allowed to live, he will bring disrepute to our Asura race. He should be killed. So he told his fellows, his followers, that kill this boy. And all of them, they tried many methods to kill him. This is part of the story. What is that? I think of everybody, all of you know. He was pierced with tridents. He was trampled by elephants. He was bitten by serpents. He was attacked with black magic. He was rolled along the mountainside. He was imprisoned, poisoned, starved, exposed to severe inclement weather, exposed to fire. Everything was tried on him. But Govinda Parirambhitaha. He is in the embrace of the Lord. So he survived. Nobody could destroy him. Nobody could kill him. Everybody, they found that, oh, with all this boy is remaining alive. They could do nothing to the boy because mentally he was feeling he is embraced by the Lord. Govinda Parirambhitaha. We should also feel like this. In all the situations, many situations come in our life when we feel there is no way and our mind goes down and down. We find that the whole path is dark. How to get saved, we do not know. We cannot tell it to even our near and dear ones. The husband is not able to tell to the wife. Wife is not able to tell to the husband. We cannot go and tell our parents because to the near and dear ones, if we tell our sorrow, our anxiety, they also start crying and start worrying about it. Who will give us consolation? So, in such moments, we should feel we are protected by God. We are surrounded by God. We are in the embrace of God. Then, seeing this, Hiranyakashipu got very worried. In his mind, he was thinking, I have got a boon, no doubt. But is it that this boy is going to cause my death? Is my death going to come through this boy? Now, seeing the king so depressed and brooding, Shanda and Amarka, they came to him and said, O king, don't brood, don't be anxious. After all, he is a small boy. He has not grown up. He will not run away from here. So, let us wait for our Guru, Shukracharya. He will find out some way. And till that time, let this boy live here and we will teach him as usual and let us see. So, they started teaching him again. What they were teaching? Again about the objective world, what is to be acquired from the objective world, desire after desire. What happened, when the teachers would be teaching, after some time the teachers will go for food or go for call of nature. At that moment, Prahlada will call all the classmates and say, see, come. The teachers are teaching us something, but I have also got something to tell you. And he says, Kaumara acharet prajyo dharman bhagavataniha durlabham manusham janma tadapyadhruvamarthadam. He said, this manusha janma, that is the human birth, is very rare. And it is our lifespan is very short. It is very uncertain how long we are going to live. But if we want to realize God within ourselves, it is through this human birth alone that we can have that realization. So, from the very beginning, from our boyhood alone, we should start following this Bhagavata Dharma. That is, how a devotee becomes a true devotee. How he reaches the pinnacle of devotion, which is nothing but spiritual knowledge, that God is inside us and we can realize Him. And the self and God, everything is same. So for this, we should not wait for what? Retirement. We should not wait for old age. People think, I don't have time now. So active I am. When will I get time to pursue this? And that is why they delay. If they see their young children have a liking for this path, going to Satsang, they will say, this is not the time. This is not the time to read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or Upanishads. Now you lead your household life. When you grow old, at that time you go for satsangs. But when we grow old, our mind will not allow us. By that time, mind has got lot of bondages, lot of attachments. And not only that, the body becomes diseased. The body doesn't have strength enough. So the mind becomes body conscious. You cannot sit on the ground. You feel tired after some time. So the mind tries to take rest. You cannot have that enthusiasm and vigor to pursue this path when you are old. So he says, let us start from boyhood. Start from the very beginning. So he started giving lessons to the children. There is a shloka. Krishna tvadiya pada pankaja panjarante adyaiva me vishatu manasa rajahamsaha prana prayana samaye kafavata pittaihi kantavarodhana vidhau smaranam kutaste Krishna tvadiya pada pankaja panjarante. O Krishna, O Lord, at your holy lotus feet, adyaiva me vishatu, right today let my mind enter or take shelter. Manasa rajahamsaha, my mind which is like a swan, let it take shelter at your feet right today. And let it get imprisoned. Pada pankaja panjarante. Let your feet, holy lotus feet, be a prison. And let my mind, which flows here and there like a swan, let it be imprisoned at your feet. That is, after it takes shelter at your feet, it should not be able to go from there at all. Why? Why I am saying this, O Lord? Because if I wait for my old age to pursue devotion, then I know that I will not be able to have one-pointed devotion. At that time, my body will be attacked by kapha, vata, pitta, phlegm, arthritis and pitta. All these will torture me so much, make me suffer so much that I will be thinking of my body alone. I will not be able to think about you. Prana prayana samaye kafabata pittaihi kantavarodhana vidhau smaranam kutaste. At that time, I will not be able to remember you. So I am saying, let today itself my mind get imprisoned at your holy lotus feet. So Prahlada is saying that let us start right now. He says, the highest and noble act, the highest and the noblest act for mankind is to surrender himself at the feet of the Lord. For he is the dearest and nearest. We consider our children and partner, relatives, friends to be the dearest and nearest. But no, they will leave you. They will not look after you in your need. See, children are not able to be with their parents and look after them. Even if they are able to, they do not want to, because they have their own life. So, he is the dearest, he is the nearest. If you consider him so, you will always feel Govinda Parirambhitaha. And he is the soul of the soul. He is the master and he is the friend of all beings. Consider him to be like that. And if we turn our mind towards him, what is unattainable for us? We think that from the objective world, we can get our happiness. I will do this, I will do that, I will buy this, I will have this kind of prestige, and in the profession I will shine. When children are born, we are happy. Grandchildren are born, we are happy. We move to a new house, we are happy. We spend so much time decorating the house, everything. Never thinking that these are not going to stay with us. Never thinking. Rabindranath Tagore has written a song. He says, O Lord, if I do not get your vision and darshan in this life, let me know that I have not got your darshan. Let that sorrow ever give me pain in my wakeful hour and in my dream. Let me always think that in this life I have attained many things. My whole hand has become full and overfull. It is flowing, overflowing. But let me remember, I have not attained you, O Lord. I might have attained many, many objects, lot of praise, appreciation, prestige, recognition, everything. But what of that? Those will not remain. People will forget. You may be at the top of your organization, but one day you will retire and nobody will even look at you if you go to the office. So these will not remain with us. So Lord, let me remember, I have not attained you, O Lord. Let that pain be always with me in my wakeful hours and in my dream. Tushte cha tatra kimalabhyamanantadye kim tair guna vyatikaradihye swasiddhaha dharmadaya kimagunena cha kangshitena saram jusham charanayorupagayatam nah. Tushte cha tatra kimalabhyamanantadye kim tair guna vyatikaradihye swasiddhaha dharmadaya kimagunena cha kangshitena saram jusham charanayorupagayatam nah. Beautiful. Just like this. When I first heard it from Swamiji's mouth, it was wonderful, giving horripilation. It says, when we are able to please the infinite Lord, the Supreme Being, the primeval Being, and when He is pleased with us, what is unattainable for us? We are trying to attain so many objective things, but if we are able to please Him and attain Him, then what else is necessary? But as devotees, we do not even want anything from objective world, neither through dharma, artha or kama, because those will be attained in any way. Because we are active in this world, all that is to be attained through following dharma, artha and kama we will have. Then comes moksha. Everybody aspires for moksha, liberation. We, the true devotees, we do not even want moksha, because we want only to serve Him. He is our treasure. Apart from that treasure, what do we want? More than that, we do not want anything. And we only want to chant about His excellences and enjoy the bliss of His service. When we serve Him, the bliss that is generated from that service, we want to enjoy that only. We don't want anything else. He was saying all this to the Asura boys. Just like him, small boys, and the boys will also sit near him, and with big eyes they will be hearing. They have not heard this any time. Their parents do not talk about it, their masters, the teachers do not talk. So they were thinking they were getting melted by devotion. And they also started contemplating on God. He said, oh my friends, how to develop this bhakti? Let us listen. How to develop this bhakti? I think that is the question of everybody. We are hearing everything, we are reading everything, but the question is that how to develop? There should be some method. That is the Bhagavata dharma. What did we hear? Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmanava. Through bodily actions, through words, through the mind, through the buddhi, and all through the indriyas, that is the sense organs. We must surrender everything to the Lord. Now, how do we do it? He is telling the children, his classmates, the small children. When he is telling, he sees, as soon as the teachers go, he just calls them like this, and all of them sit together, and he is giving them this instruction. He says, Guru Sushrushaya Bhaktya Sarvalabdharpanena cha Sangena Sadhu Bhaktanam Ishwararadhanena cha Shraddhaya Tatkathayam cha Kirtanair Gunakarmanam Tatpadamburuhadhyanat Lingeksharhanadibhihi. First thing he says is that to have rati for Bhagavan, that is extreme devotion and love for the Lord. Many ways are there. Devotion is the easiest path. And to grow devotion, what you should do? Guru Sushrushaya Bhaktya. See, first thing which is said, whichever text you read, you will find, first thing they will say, devotedly, dedicatedly serve the Guru. And in which manner? By your service, Guru should be pleased. You should not say the Guru, you understand the Guru wants something to be done. You should not do in your own manner. Whatever you wish and whatever you feel okay, you should ask him. If by doing, he says no, there should be some improvement, or it should be done in this manner or that manner, you should not get upset. Why my Guru has said this? I did it very well, with so much dedication I did. I have spent so much money and I gave so much offering to him. So why should he said that whatever I have done is not all right? No. That is Guru Sushrushaya Bhaktya. If bhakti is there, you have to do the service with bhakti, and that bhakti should be apratihata and ahaituki, without any motive and without any obstruction. In whichever manner the Guru is happy, you do that. Sarvalabdharpanena cha. Dedicate all that you have. Mentally dedicate everything to him. No mindness should be there. That is, we possess everything and we hold on to it. How will devotion grow? Only when we leave mindness towards whatever we possess and acquire, and we start feeling a mindness towards the Lord, then only you will be having devotion. So, in the mind, whatever you have, you perform your daily duties, you do take up your responsibilities. There you should not fail, you should be perfect. But in your mind you must know, all these are temporary. For me, the Supreme is the Lord. He is there for me and nobody else. So that mindness should be constantly thought of and rejected. Wherever you find, because of your own lethargy, because of your own lack of interest, or because of your own intolerance or impatience, you are getting away from the path of devotion. You should reject such traits and be always one-pointed. Take to such paths, such disciplines which will take you to one-pointed devotion. So, Sangena, now what he has said, dedicated service to the Guru with devotion and dedicating all that one possesses to the Lord, rejecting all the mindness. How will that be possible? It is not possible by oneself, because neither we know how to do it, nor the people around us can give us any instruction and show us a way. So what you should do? You should go to the holy company or like-minded devotees and discuss between them that, see, I don't know why my mind always remains scattered. Maybe a like-minded devotee will tell you some methods that he or she has pursued and you will be benefited. So, Sangena sadhu bhaktanam ishwararadhanena cha. So, you must have the association of holy devotees. Must have. Always you may not have the Guru amidst yourselves, like here. Here Swamiji comes once a year you get his physical presence once a year. Rest of the time, how will you sustain all that you have received from him? How will you sustain? So it is very essential that you meet, you have a satsang, you talk between yourselves and exchange notes, how you have been able to reject some of the bad traits or the undesirable traits which are against devotion, and how you have improved. Exchange such notes. So, Sangena sadhu bhaktanam ishvararadhanena cha, and worship the Lord. Worship by singing about him and telling about him. Shraddhaya tat kathayam cha kirtanair gunakarmanam tat padamburuhadhyanat tanlinge ksharhanadibhi, and have shraddha in listening to his deeds and excellences. Oh, it is just some stories. Don't think like that. Or, oh, I will not understand all these things. Try to grow devotion. Try to grow a liking and love for listening to the stories of the Lord, his excellences. Have faith on it. What is the faith? That if I listen to this texts are telling that constantly hear. What will happen? Say if we hear a tape which has some bhajans or some other kirtans, if you constantly hear, what happens? One day you will find that you are humming that tune. It gets into the mind. Similarly, hear constantly, read constantly. You will find that you will be as if seeing the Lord. You will be as if interacting with Lord, because he will be so much in your mind by repeated listening, repeated reading, repeated ruminating. So have faith in that. When the texts are saying that this will be the result of repeated listening, you must have faith. Don't leave it in between. And Shraddhaya tat kathayam cha kirtanair gunakarmanam. His excellences, you sing, read loudly some of these things. Tat padamburhadhyanat, and meditate on the holy lotus feet. Sit somewhere, have a discipline, All this he is telling the children to have discipline. We must have a discipline in our life. It's not that today I sit for meditation at 7 o'clock and next day 7 o'clock somebody came, so that is gone. So tomorrow I will do. And that tomorrow never comes. If you have decided and resolved that 7 o'clock I'll sit for meditation, or 7 o'clock I will sit in the puja room and worship the Lord, then that 7 o'clock should be fixed. You should tell your friends and others that, see, if you please, I am busy with this kind of pursuit. So if you have to come, or if you have to call me, invite me to your house, this period I will not be available. You have to tell. You cannot keep your 2 feet on 2 boat and think that you can go ahead in devotion. You cannot. And I am telling you from my experience. I have done this in my household life. When slowly devotion grew, when slowly the yearning grew, I told my friends and neighbors that please, this is the time, you have to excuse me. I will not be available. Initially there was a big question mark in everybody's mind. What is she saying? Why is she doing like that? Has she rejected us? Then slowly the friends who did not think that it is something good fell off. And those who felt that yes, the path that we have taken and the dedication that I am showing is something good, they honored it. They would not invite me during that time. They would not come and visit during that time. And if they would fix a day, say we will meet together, they will say, we'll come after this or we'll come before that. It will happen. Only thing, we are shy. That is why yesterday I chanted one verse. It says that one should not be shy. We should not be shy. That I am a devotee to tell it to the world, why should we be shy? but we become shy. Oh, you are going to the ashram, we will not tell anybody. We are every day morning, Sunday morning, we are going to the satsang. We don't want to tell anybody, thinking that they will ridicule us. We want to hide it from others. Why? I am doing such a good thing. If you want, you please come along with me. That should be our attitude. I have gained some treasure, and you know, that should be evident also. When we take to this discipline, you will find your whole personality will change slowly. People will ask you, oh, such a peace is there in your face now. Where from has it come? What are you gaining going for a satsang or taking to this path? You must have gained something. Please tell us. In my household life, I remember one day I felt, I used to work, so when I came back, at that time, I opened the lock and entered. And nobody was in the house. I suddenly felt the house is very gloomy. It so happened that soon after that, my spiritual sadhana increased, my yearning increased, and whatever time I would get, I would either sit for meditation or read good books, very good books like Bhagavatam or Ramakrishna Dev's Gospel, things like that. So mentally I will be always in satsang, either with the Lord or with Lord's devotee. If I read Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or other texts, I will be with the Lord Himself. If I read Ramakrishna Dev's Gospel, I would be with God's devotees. So mentally I was in the satsang, and whatever I would read, whatever work I had in the house, and you know how much work is there in the house, so I will be contemplating on that. So what would happen? Slowly, all the time there was satsang in the mind. One day, a neighbor came, and the neighbor said, after some talk, the neighbor said, earlier when we used to come, we never felt like this. Now for some time, whenever I come to your house, I feel there is such a peace in this house. I think that is the effect of that satsang in the mind. I think all of us can do it. Only thing, we don't want to do it. Even if we want to do it, we do not make an effort to do it. And all worldly allurements, they pull us like anything, and they won't allow us to do it. We have to be firm with ourselves, harsh with ourselves. Then only, I repeat it, we have to be very firm with ourselves, be very sincere and harsh with ourselves. Then only we will grow. It is not difficult at all. It is only the wish to do it. So he says, Hari, He is the Ishvara of everybody. Oh my dear friends, this is what. So if we do like this, what will happen? If we follow these disciplines, we will have one-pointed devotion to the Lord. What we should also see, we should meditate on His holy feet, and looking at the holy saints and the idols and images, we must be able to see Him in them. Not only in everyday creatures, especially in holy people and in the temples, in the idols. Then he was saying, my friends, when we hear His name and we sing His songs, and when our eyes become filled with devotion, do you know what will happen? He's telling them, Nishamya karmani gunana tulyan veeryani leelatanubhikritani yadati harshot pulakashrugadgadam protkantha udgayati rauti nrityati yadagrahgrastaiva kvachit hasatyakrandate dhyayati vandate janam muhush Shvasan Bhakti Hare Jagatpate Narayane Tyatmamatir Gatatrapaha Nishamya Karmani Gunan Atulyan Viryani Leela Tanubhikritani Yadati harshot pulakashrugadgadam protkantha udgayati rauti nrityati. When on hearing, when we keep on hearing, keeping a satsang in the mind, keeping a presence of Him in our heart, try to do that. If we try to do that, what happens? What are we actually trying to remember? His gunas, His excellences, His sports, as when He manifested as a human being, what all He did. Then what will happen? Yadati harshot pulakashrugadgadam. There will be excess of delight in the mind. And pulakashrugadgadam, the voice will choke, tears will flow. Yesterday, somebody was telling that when I hear these accounts, my eyes are shedding. Why? Because the mind has got the touch of the Lord at that time. Protkantha udgayati rauti nrityati. And protkantha, in a loud voice, you will be singing His name. You will cry, you will dance at some time. Yadagrahgrastaiva kvachit hasatyakrandate dhyayati vandate janam muhusvasan vakti hare jagatpate narayane tyatmamatir gatatrapaha. You will be behaving as if you have been possessed by Him. And sometimes you will laugh loudly. Sometimes you will cry. Sometimes you will become absolutely quiet and contemplative. Sometimes you will be saluting everybody, finding in everybody His presence. You will go to everybody and do pranam. And sometimes your breath will become heavy. You will be taking breath heavily and you will cry out, Hare, Jagatpate, Narayana. These names you will be crying out. And in what manner? Atmamatir gatatrapaha, without any lajja, without any shame. When it happens like that, oh my dear friends, who is telling whom? Prahlada is telling his little friends that when it happens like this, tada puman mukta samasta bandhanaha tad bhava bhavanukrita kritihi nirdagdha bijanushayo mahiyasa bhakti prayogena sametya dhokshajam. At that time, tada, when all this will happen, tada, at that time, oh my dear friends, puman mukta samasta bandhanaha. The mankind, the human being, he will feel that he is liberated from all bondage and he will feel free. We want to become free. Our mind is so cluttered. We feel so constricted with all our worries, our tensions, our fears, our anxieties. We feel so constricted. And sometimes we feel, is there nothing like freedom? When will I feel very free and relaxed? And it is happening. It will happen only when you sing like this, you dance like this, you keep Him in your heart, and you become liberated from all bondage, and you become identified with the Lord in your body and mind in a state of ecstatic contemplation. Ecstatic contemplation. You are thinking about Him, singing about Him. There is contemplation in your mind, and you feel absolutely united with the Lord, and you feel free, completely free. Nothing matters. You will not remember anything. And you feel that He Govinda Parirambhitaha. Nirdagdha bijanushayo mahiyasa bhakti prayogena sametya dhokshajam. All the subtle tendencies, all the undesirable traits which are there because of ignorance in the mind, all will be destroyed by this mahiyasa bhakti, the power of bhakti. The bhakti will be so much that it will simply wash off, wipe off every tendency which makes you suffer. all your tendencies, your desires, your expectation, your intolerance, your anger, everything will be simply washed off and you will be pure and pure like a crystal is. And you will attain his feet. Samet adhokshajam. When you attain him, what will happen? What is meant by this attainment? Adhokshajalambhamiha shubhatmanah sharirina samsriti chakrashatanam tad brahma nirvana sukham vidurbudhaha tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram adhokshajalambhamiha shubhatmanah sharirina samsriti chakrashatanam tad brahma nirvana sukham vidurbudhaha tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram. When you attain the Lord, you will feel that you are embraced by him. Adhokshajalambham. You will be embraced as Prahlada was embraced by the Lord. You will feel you are embraced by him. And that embrace will take away all your impurity from your mind. And what you will experience is Tad Brahma Nirvana Sukham. You will experience the Nirvana Sukha. When there is attainment of Brahman, you will have that experience, realization of God. And the Sukha, the delight, the bliss which is born out of it. Out of what? How will you get? It is through the sparsha of Adhokshaja. Adhokshaja is nobody except Sri Hari. His another name is Adhokshaja. You would have got his touch. The Vishnu sparsha you have got. You feel him. You can touch him. You understand that he is there in your heart. This sparsha gives you Brahma Nirvana Sukham. So he tells, oh my friends, we'll be having this experience. So this Lord should be propitiated. He should be contemplated upon in our own heart. Hridaye. He is the Hridishwaram. He is the Ishvara of our heart. And where should be worshipped? He should be worshipped in our own heart. He says, O Asura Valakas, children of the Asuras, my friends, what difficulty is there for us to worship him? There is no difficulty. He is like the space. The Lord, the Supreme Being, is like the space. He is as if all pervaded. He is everywhere. He is inside our heart also. And He is the soul of our soul. He is the genuine well-wisher for us. So there should not be any difficulty. Any prompting is not necessary. When we understand it, we should simply try to experience Him in ourselves, because He is the supreme delight giver. Rayah kalatram pashavas sutadayo griha mahi kunjara kosha bhutayah sarvertha kama kshanabhangurayushaha kurvanti martasya kiyat priyam chalah. Rayah kalatram pashavas sutadayo griha mahi kunjara kosha bhutayah sarvertha kama kshanabhangurayushaha kurvanti martasya kiyat priyam chalah. We, the human beings, they do not understand this, that their mind has to be turned towards the Lord. And what they do, though the life is short, uncertain, they still go behind temporary objects like wife, wealth, son, cattle, houses, acquisitions, property, wealth, prestige, recognition, appreciation. and power. Men are always going behind it. But should we not worship Him and get the supreme bliss? He was telling again and again. So, for the attainment of the supreme spiritual fulfillment in this life, where we remain unaffected in all the adversities which we face, we remain unaffected and we get the supreme bliss by experiencing Him in our own heart. Should we not pursue that path? And who is He? Tasmad adrishta shruta dushanam param bhaktyai bhajatatma labdhaye. He is the one supreme being. He has no blemish which we have heard or seen. He is without any blemish. He is the pure of the purest. And we must propitiate Him, worship Him, think about Him, sing about Him, contemplate upon Him, and feel Him in our heart to attain Him. This we should do. The young boys were very happy and they found it to be very useful for them. So, what they started doing? They started contemplating on God. Prahlada also told that not by the birth as a Brahmin, even the gods, the rishis, even when you follow moral rules and you have lot of learning, Lord will not be pleased. We may worship Him, but we must become pure. And what is that purity? He says, if we have money, power, wealth, we have learning, we are following the moral rules also, we are of a Brahmin race, we are rishis, still God will not be pleased. Even charity, austerity, sacrifices, purificatory rites, vows, etc. will not please the Lord. Then by what will Lord be pleased? Priyate amalaya bhaktya hariranyad vidambanam. He says, my dear friends, know also this, that we may try to have eka bhakti, one-pointed devotion. But what kind of devotion is that? It should be absolutely pure devotion. Priyate amalaya bhaktya hariranyad vidambanam. Hari is pleased only by pure devotion. What is pure devotion? Which has no motive. It's not that I show devotion and my devotion will be measured by how much offering I give to the temples. It's not that. How much puja we have given, how much austerity we have done, how much vows we have taken, how much sacrifices we have done, charity we have done. Hari will not be pleased by that. Hari will be pleased only when you have no desire, no expectation, and that is pure bhakti. Rest everything, he says, anyad vidambanam. Everything is ostentation. So, people who have richness, they will, in a very big, beautiful, maybe golden plate or silver plate, they will heap their offerings, bring big baskets of fruits and keep it near the shrine or the Mahatma. That is no devotion. Devotion is from the heart when it says, O Lord, I don't want anything from you. I only want devotion at your feet and I want to serve you without any motive. Only because I love you and cannot but serve you, I serve you, not anything else. This should be our lesson, our message, that our devotion has to become pure. Now, when the children started contemplating on the Lord, the teachers became very frightened. They could do nothing now. They were finding all the boys, they are not at all listening to them. They are listening to Prahlada. So they went and reported this to Hiranyakashipu. And when Hiranyakashipu heard it, his body trembled with rage, violent rage. He decided to kill the son himself now. He had told his followers that you go and kill. They tried many methods, but Prahlada was not killed. He was saved every time. Now Hiranyakashipu said, I will myself kill my son. And he went, called the son. The son came to him. He was very composed, and because he has come to the father, he saluted him, and with folded hands he stood near the father. The father, an asura, high in height, big in his body, and the little boy standing near him with folded hands and looking up to the father to hear what the father says. The father abused him like anything. And the father was looking at the son from the side glance, red eyes, and he was hissing like a trampled snake. When the snake is trampled, how the snake will hiss? He was hissing like this. And he said that, oh, you fool, your audacity is something I cannot understand. You are a traitor of our race and family. You deserve to be killed now. So I will kill you. How can you not listen to what I have ordered? And he asked, tell me, my boy, how is it that you are so composed? How is it that you are so fearless? What is the source of strength for you that you are fearlessly flouting the commands that I am giving you? You are fearlessly flouting. You have no fear. Don't you know that I will punish you? Prahlada said, my father, my lord, it is not only for me, not only for my strength, but everybody who is strong, including yourself, O Father, the source of strength is He, Lord Hari. He is giving us strength. It is not that we have strength. Only because He has made us strong, we are strong. So even your strength belongs to Him. And He controls His slaves. From Brahma to the blade of glass, everybody is controlled by Lord Hari and nobody else. See, he was fearless. And he said, O Father, please abandon your asuric nature. Your nature is very asuric. You are always out to torture people, give difficulties to people. You are killing people. Your nature is very monstrous. Have even-sightedness. And if you have evenness towards your friends and foes, that will be the best of worship for Lord Hari. We have to think, we have to remember this. We also, every day, throughout the day, we come across people whom we like, people whom we do not like. What is the message here? That is an asuric tendency. We must also develop samabhava for everybody, thinking that in everybody He, the Supreme Being, is there. And our worship will be complete if we can find Him in whom we like and whom we dislike. Now, Father said, you boy, you are fool. You are indulging in such senseless and arrogant talk. You are facing imminent death in my hand. I'll just kill you. But before that he said, where is that Lord about whom you are speaking? Is there anybody better than me? Where is He then? Prahlada smilingly said, He is everywhere, my father. He is everywhere. Oh, then is He in this pillar also? Just like that, Hiranyakashipu said, is He in the pillar also then? You are saying He is everywhere. Then this pillar of the assembly, the sabha, is He there? The boy said, yes, I am seeing Him there also. Prahlada looked at the pillar and said, now, Hiranyakashipu said, now I am going to kill you. What? You are saying that Hari will protect you. He is the shelter of all beings. Let him protect you if he can. I am going to cut off your head. Let him protect you. Let me see that he is somebody who protects everybody. And saying this, Hiranyakashipu got up from his throne and he went to the pillar and delivered a blow on the pillar. A terrific sound arose from the pillar. That loud sound was so much that it seemed to crack the cosmic shell. Brahma and other gods thought it is the doomsday. And Hiranyakashipu also was wonderstruck where from this sound is coming. And then he saw a figure emerging from that pillar, a figure which was neither a man nor an animal. It was a man-lion, and it was coming. Vedavyasa says this, Satyam vidhatum nijabhritya bhashitam vyaptim cha bhuteshvakhileshu chatmanah adrishyatatyadbhudarupamudbahan stambhe sabhayam namrigam namanusham stambhe sabhayam namrigam namanusham satyam vidhatum nijabhritya bhashitam. What did Prahlada say? I see him in the pillar also. So, Prahlada is a great devotee. Now the Lord must prove that the devotee, what this little boy as a devotee has said, should be true. So when the father said, is he in the pillar? Prahlada said, yes, he is in the pillar. So to prove that word of his small devotee, he emerged from the pillar. To show that, yes, what this boy has said is true, and also to prove that he is immanent everywhere. That his presence is everywhere. He emerged from there. He was neither a beast nor a man. He looked around and he was hissing, heaving. He had glowing, fearful eyes. His face was surrounded by brilliant, matted locks and mane. His fangs were terror-inspiring. So much everybody would become terrorized looking at him. His tongue was sharp and quivering like a sword, and his eyebrows gave a fearful look on his face. His ears stood erect and high. His open mouth and nostrils, they were like mountain caves. His cleft cheeks were symbol of ferocity. Body was touching the sky. He was so huge. And he had innumerable arms which had claws all over. So many claws were there. Nobody could comprehend that figure. And all the Daityas and Danavas and Asuras all fled, leaving Hiranyakashipu alone there. Everybody fled. Hiranyakashipu thought in his mind, this must be a stratagem to kill me. But with mace in hand, Hiranyakashipu rushed at the man-lion. Fierce encounter took place. And Asura's eyes, Hiranyakashipu's eyes was dazzled by the brilliance of this man-lion. Hiranyakashipu yelled, roared, and he moved up and down here and there to kill the man-lion. But he was not successful. The Asura was caught by the man-lion. He tore open his body. First he kept him on his thigh. What was the boon given? I should not be killed on earth or sky. I should not be killed by a man or an animal. I should not be killed in day or night. So the Asura was put on man-lion Narasimha's thighs, and Narasimha tore open the body and he took out the intestines and hung around his neck as a necklace. He was heaving, and his mane and everything was reddened by the blood. Thereafter, the man-lion went, after killing Hiranyakashipu like this, he went and sat on the throne, and he was looking here and there. He was still full of wrath. He was very, very angry. All the devatas, the gods, everybody had assembled there to see the death of Hiranyakashipu. Everybody felt terrified, and they were not feeling comfortable to go near him at all. So from their places, they folded their hands and started singing praise for this Lord, Narasimha. One by one, everybody was singing. But nobody was feeling comfortable or fearless to go near him and touch his feet. They requested Sri Devi, Lakshmi, that you are his consort, so you please go and pacify him. She said, I have never seen him like this, I cannot go. Then Brahma went to Prahlada. Prahlada was standing and watching this. Just imagine the little boy watching his father being killed. What emotion he must be having. But at the same time, who was killing? The Lord, whom he always propitiates, worships, keeps in the heart. So Prahlada was standing with folded hands at one corner of the assembly. Brahma went there and told him, little boy, it is because of you this Narasimha has emerged. So maybe you can go and pacify him. So agreeing to do so, the great lover of the Lord, Prahlada slowly went towards him, and with palms joined in salutation, he prostrated full length at the feet of that man-lion, Narasimha. Just imagine the scene. Imagine the scene. The little boy, he just fell flat on the ground. When he fell flat on the ground, the Lord saw the little boy, a little boy has fallen at my feet. You know what happened? I think all of us, when we see children, our heart melts. And we also start talking to them lispingly. So he also, when he saw a small boy, he was bathed in an upsurge of tender feelings. He, with his hands, made the boy get up and kept his divine palms on the head of this boy. What divine palms? He kept his two hands on the head of the boy. What are these hands? These hands are those which takes away sorrow and suffering from everybody who takes a shelter at his feet. These are the hands. And he did like that. That touch of the Lord's palms dissipated all traces of ignorance from Prahlada's heart, and he was filled with the clear presence of the Lord in his heart. Virachita bhayam vrishnidhuryate charanamiyusham samsriter bhayat karasaroruham kantakamadam shirasi dhehinah Shri Karagraham Virachita bhayam Vrishnidhuryate Charanamiyusham Samsriter bhayat Karasaroruham Kantakamadam Shirasi dhehinah Shri Karagraham. This is that song sung by the Gopikas. You know what he says? Virachita bhayam vrishnidhuryate. Oh, the greatest of the Yadu's clan, Vrishnidhurya. Oh, the charmer of our hearts, place that calmly hand of thine on our head. I think we also always want the two hands, divine hands, to be placed on our head so that we feel secure, we feel fearless, we feel we are protected, we feel we are accepted, we feel we are under the protection of our Savior. So, any devotee can sing this, and they sing. Virachita bhayam vrishnidhuryate charanamiyusham samsriter bhayat. O Lord, please keep your hands on our head, those hands which you keep on such devotees who take shelter at your feet, who come and say that please protect me, and they consider you to be the supreme refuge. Karasaroruham kantakamadam shirasi dhehinah Shri Karagraham. You know, The Lord is always stretching out His hand to hold our hand. We refuse it. We want to hold the hand of the partner, the husband or the wife, the children, the grandchildren, maybe relatives or friends at times. We do not look at Him. His hands are ever stretched, and He says, "Come and hold my hand. I will take you to that destination where you will have the supreme bliss. You will be unaffected." The world will be like this, bringing waves of sorrow at times, waves of joy at times. When joy comes, we are very happy. When sorrow comes, we are not able to take it. The Lord says, if you hold my hand, you will remain unaffected. There will be no danger for you. You will be calm and composed. Hold my hand. So that is what we must do. So when Prahlada, he got this realization, he found the presence of the Lord in his own heart. He started with folded hands, singing hymns for the Lord, the Supreme Being, in the form of man-lion. The Lord was very pleased. And at the end of the hymn, the Lord said, "My boy, I am very, very pleased with you. You are a supreme devotee. You ask for any boon that you want." You know, that 7-year-old boy, what he said? He said, "My Lord, it doesn't become of you to tempt me with any boon. I am a little boy. Don't tempt me with a boon. It does not become of you." One who seeks favors and boons from the Lord, he is not a true devotee. He is having a motive for his devotion. And if he asks for boons from the Lord, he is not a true devotee. He is just a trader. He is doing trade with devotee. I am offering you so much, so please look after my family. See that everything remains all right with me. It is a trade. I am not like that, O my Lord. I am aham tu akamaha tvad bhaktaha. I am a bhakta, I am a devotee who has no desire. And you too, as the Lord, you also do not ask for anything from me, I know. So, if you are pleased to give me a boon, O my Lord, give me a boon that I don't ever have any desire in my heart. Just see. 7-year-old boy can say this. 70-year-olds cannot say this. He said this. If you are really wanting to give me a boon, see that I have no desire in my heart. I should be a true devotee without any motive. I should be only loving you. I should feel your presence everywhere in all creatures, all beings. And I should know that always you are there for me, nobody else. So, there is little more, but it will take time. So, time is up. I have taken 15 minutes more. He says, the Lord says that I am very pleased with you. Keep me in your heart. Sing my praises and practice hearing the delightful accounts of my sportive deeds. Install me in your heart. I, the Lord of all, the indweller of all being. If you do so, you will attain me. And that is the message for us. We install the Lord in our heart. We must take a discipline and make effort. Every day, think that this day has passed. Still, my attachment to the worldly things, my whatever I consider as mine, has not reduced. O God, how to become more devoted to you? How to remove this attachment? How to understand that only true devotion will give me the supreme bliss. So every day you have to think, at least before going to bed, see whether you have progressed a little bit or not. And consider everything as He Himself. See in everybody His form, especially in holy men and in the Gurus. And then sing His glory, sing His glory. Whatever little time you get, you read these accounts. You will find great joy. And as I told you, you will remain constantly in a satsang, constantly in a satsang. The mind will be purified, and in that pure mind you will find He is sporting there, He is staying there, He is holding your hand, He is helping you in everything. You will never feel alone. You will always feel that there is somebody with you who genuinely wishes you well, who is the genuine friend, and He is the master. He will guide you. You will be like a child in His lap, and then you will be experiencing the Vishnu Sparsha, the Brahma Nirvana Sukham. That will be your attainment. Jaya Shankha Gadadhara Neelakalevara Pita Patambara Dehi Padam. Jaya Shankha Gadadhara Neelakalevara Pita Patambara Dehi Padam. Jaya Bhakta Janashraya Mangala Karana Antima Bandhava Dehi Padam. Jaya Bhakta Janashraya Mangala Karana Antima Bandhava Dehi Padam. Jaya Shankha Gadadhara Neelakalevara Pita Patambara Dehi Padam. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. I have had great ecstasy and supreme bliss in saying these accounts in your front. You know, it matters a lot who are listening. I found in all of you lot of receptivity. I hope and wish and pray that you will be able to retain it. I always, first I heard these Prahlada accounts from Swamiji when he would talk from platforms. I used to like it very much. And today, when I was singing the shlokas which I have heard from him, learned from him, my eyes were becoming moist, feeling that what treasure he has given me. And he has made me able to talk about his glories. And I do my pranam to my Guru, who has given me this knowledge and given me this ability to speak. Jai Guru.